So this next segment, we literally ripped from the headlines. Did you see those articles out there? Graceland, Elvis's homeland, was almost auctioned off by scammers. So we're going to tell you what you need to be aware of and what you can do absolutely free to help protect yourself. So welcome on in to Dollars and Cents, where we help you make sense out of all of life's decisions involving your dollars. We're Central Florida's longest running radio program, also a top 25 financial planning podcast. Make sure you check us out on all those fabulous social media and podcast platforms. To learn more about us and what we do for our clients and our investment philosophy, feel free to check out our website, nelsonfinancialplanning.com. There you'll get to learn more about us, who we are, and how we do what we do. My name, of course, is Joel Garris, and with me this week on this week's episode of Dollars and Cents is Kristin Castello. Good morning again.
Good morning, Joel. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, as always. And our job when we're not doing the radio program is to help you improve your life with a successful and cost-effective financial plan. So feel free to take us up on our free offer of a free, no-obligation consultation at any point in time. Again, just visit our website to find out more. So when we talk about these property scams, there's certain categories that are more susceptible to becoming a victim to these property scams, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first one is deceased owners. So
Wait a minute. Elvis isn't dead, is he? Is that Elvis isn't dead, right? Okay.
He's
anyway,
alive in spirit.
He's alive in spirit. All right. So that's number one. All right.
Yeah.
What's number two?
Out-of-state owners.
Okay.
The next one is vacant plots of land.
Right.
Investment properties owned by an LLC, and homes with just a lot of equity in them. Those are the main targets.
Yeah. So if you find that you have a property or maybe you know someone in the family that has that type of property, you really need to be a little bit more aware of what's going on, because those are the categories where they would look to potentially take advantage of scamming that property. And there's sort of two forms that scam takes. First is literally trying to assume your identity and sell the property to an unsuspecting buyer. That's the first version of it. And then the second version is where basically they take a loan against the property, go through the process of submitting an application to a lender, to a borrower, and ultimately steal the equity that way. So what's behind sort of the rise? We seem to be hearing more and more about this. Obviously, the story about Graceland that captured national attention of late. What explains kind of the rise behind this particular scam, Kristin?
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons is the popularity of remote closings, where nobody's actually in person looking at the house. Also, you can do notarization digitally now, so you don't even need to be on site to do certain transactions like that anymore.
So the physical presence of the notary, where they put the stamp, all of that is digitized now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, many houses in Florida were sold like that. It's crazy. And then also the rising equity in homes. There's a record $16.9 trillion in the first quarter of 2024 of equity in homes.
So no surprise, there's an increase in scams because, well, that's where the money is, right?
Right. You can unlock that equity with the sale of the house, a cash out, or refinance, those sorts of things.
And I think that's the highest amount of household real estate equity ever that was recorded here in the first quarter of 2024.
Right.
So some pretty big numbers on that. Now, I guess the good news, to the extent that there is that, look, if it's a false deed or a fraudulent loan, then false deed isn't going to transfer title. A fraudulent loan isn't going to make you, as an innocent homeowner, legally responsible. But, and here's the big but, it is a costly and lengthy process to unwind this when it happens, because there's no real way to sort of prevent someone, I mean, if you're going to perpetuate a fraud, then there's no real way that someone's going to just basically lie, cheat, and steal and make up a document, or in the case of Graceland, make up a company that makes up a loan, that makes up a story about how it is now defaulted. So certainly the bad news in all this is that it is costly and lengthy to process to unwind. To the extent you want to actually do a real loan, right, then, it's going to push back that process to kind of actually get a real loan on it, because there's a fake loan sitting on it. And then certainly that makes also the property harder to sell, right, from a title insurance perspective. So there's some things to really kind of be aware of on this, isn't there?
Yeah. So kind of just watch out for random credit inquiries. So if you check your credit score, just make sure that there's no accounts opened that you're not aware of. Just kind of take a look at that from time to time and just monitor it. Also, just watch out for any bills that you might receive in the mail that don't look right, that have your name on them, have your address, but maybe not something you're familiar with. And then also, this is the option that I did. It's free through your county. So I just went on to orangecounty.com, went to the comptroller's website, and there's a property fraud alert sign up. It's absolutely free. It took 30 seconds. You input your name, you put your email address or your contact information about how you want to be notified, and they'll let you know if there's any property scams going on with your name or your information. So
just to recap for our listeners, so that is an absolutely free service. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure because you have to go to is it the County Registry of Deeds, County Property Appraiser's Office?
It was on the comptroller's website.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you go to the comptroller's website. I think pretty much every county in Florida has that, because I've done that for properties in Orange County and Volusia County, and I think throughout all of Florida they offer that. And you're right. It's a very quick process. Mm-hmm. Of registering and putting in an email, and ultimately it then sends out automatic alerts, automatic notifications about when anything has changed, any filing that has happened on
right. that. Mm-hmm. Yes, and it took 30 seconds. It was very easy.
Yeah, you just got to find the property that you own, and then go ahead and connect that into the registration. So certainly a very easy process. And what's interesting is there's a lot of services that you can pay for to do that, but there's really no reason to pay to do that. The reality is that you can go on and do this absolutely free of charge.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Highly recommend it. Very easy.
Certainly easy to do. I know I've done that for a number of different properties, and it's funny, you know, when you get the notice, it certainly definitely draws your attention, because what's interesting is when you look at these property websites where you can sign up for this service, even they acknowledge that there's no way for the Registry of Deeds, the property appraiser's office, to recognize that a document is fraudulent or not, right? Because if it's a fraudulent document, chances are it's pretty good in terms of what it looks like.
Yeah, especially with AI now involved, these documents can look very real.
So there's no way for them to sort of prevent that. And I think that's the key thing, and why it's so important to make sure that you're monitoring, to be alert to those signs, as you were saying earlier, about if someone really is trying to steal your identity. I mean, that's where it first starts, is someone is trying to assume that they are you, to give them the ability to sell the house or maybe get a loan on it. And ultimately to use these services to get notified, because you can't prevent it, but at least you can make sure that you're getting notified as quickly as possible, because then that reduces down the time and the effort needed to sort of unwind the transaction.
Right. And if we go back to the types of properties they're targeting, it's properties where it's deceased owners, out-of-state owners, vacant plots of land. So they're kind of looking for people not to pay attention.
Right. That's the thing, is because if you file a fraudulent deed and a lot of time goes by, then that gives them an opportunity to maybe try and sell the property, gives them an opportunity to go through the process of trying to get a loan against the property. I mean, that's what they're hoping for, is that you're not paying attention.
Right.
Which is why it's so important for people to sign up for that absolutely free service. Look, go to your comptroller, the comptroller site for your particular county, and make sure you register so you can get notified of whenever anything gets filed against your property. With that, we're going to take a break here on Dollars and Cents. This is Joel Garris with Kristin Castello of Nelson Financial Planning. We'll continue this week's episode of Dollars and Cents after these messages.